I have to ask Tom on behalf of the public.
Ladies love Loki.
In my review of Thor, I dubbed the movie Loki, like many people, because we all felt that your portrayal was so amazing. How did you tap into that very tortured spirit? Because you come across kind of like Gene Wilder's here. You're not.
It's so funny. People at my drama school used to say I look like Gene Wilder.
Very high compliment. My favorite.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, he's amazing. I'm one of the anyway. Gene Wilder. Come with me.
Come on, kids, into my creepy factory.
World of pure imagination. I can't believe I just said that. No, honestly,
Just a little bit of the Avengers theme in that voice.
I don't know the words, Clark, sorry. I feel like acting is really, the art of being an actor is the privilege of living in the shoes of someone else for a time. And my great privilege with Loki is a very, very charismatic and very beloved villain. And the word villain, I think, is interesting because villains don't believe that they're villains. They think they're doing the right thing, no matter how misguided that is. And that was really my corner that I came to it from. I thought, how can I make this relatable and accessible and somehow meaningful and three-dimensional and you know, everything that's ever moved me in cinema is ultimately human. And so I tried to make Loki possess as much humanity as I could. So it's a huge compliment to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Anyone have a question for not to Tom Hiddleston?
Hi, my name is Amy, and I have to do this, but Tom. Beautiful man. Now my question is for everyone.
Okay. Don't you think Tom is a beautiful man?
I guess I can't say I ever got a day in jeans and a t-shirt. It was mostly leather and metal. That's how we like it in Asgard. Yeah, the heavier the better. No, it was really fun, and you know, my day begins with sort of getting strapped into Loki's buckles and belts and whistles, and getting the hair on and the helmet, and sort of preparing to make minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea that, you know, here's this character is a god, but still, when it boils down to it, he's got daddy issues. Like that's really.
Hey, listen, man, everybody's got daddy issues. It's part of growing up.
Second question, kiss each other. What's that?
My second question was, who do you think's costume was the hardest to make and to get into every day for filming?
I love it really. I don't know actually. Chris Seals is the suit's pretty intense. Anyone who wears a suit has a pretty intense time, and that includes Mr. Downey Jr. in ironclad armor.
I think actually, when
mad, it turns into the green guy. By far the most difficult costume.
Your character has mythology both in the comics and in actual mythology, so I was wondering what your favorite story from Norse mythology was.
There's a really good story about how I can't remember the specifics of it, but basically Loki he disguises himself as a horse. Where's that in the script, Kevin? And he actually sort of saves, he saves Asgard, I think. But or maybe he doesn't. He's always like saving it and then trying to destroy it and then saving it again. But I love that. I think it's about there are some apples involved, and he needs to distract everyone's attention from the apples, and he goes and he distracts. He distracts a female horse by changing a horse. Do you know the story? Anyway, there's a horse involved.
There was a day when everybody was on, all the Avengers were on set together, and it was kind of incredible. We were all sort of geeked out by it. And Chris is like blue and red and white, Hemsworth's there with the hammer and the cape, and Robert's in the suit, and Jeremy had his arrows, and Scarlett's looking amazing in her kind of suit. And Mark at the back in like some spotted grey pajamas.
Tiny checkerboard.
That, by the way, is how you ruffleize a role.
My question's a panel question, and I just wanted to go down and ask everybody who their favorite male and female superheroes are.
Well, Loki's a super villain, so even though in his own mind he's a hero. So it's been a little bit of, I feel like my brother's been left out of this. My favorite superhero is Thor. And my favorite female superhero is the body that Loki chooses to come back in. Sif.
I'm Natalie.
What's your question?
First of all, I just want to thank Chris and Tom for making the extras experience in Cleveland amazing. We had a great time with you guys, even though it was like in the middle of the night.
Are you there?
Yeah. It was fantastic. Best experience of my life. Anyways, my question for Tom, I know like Loki has gone through so many incarnations in the comics, and I wanted to know like your feelings on what we affectionately refer to as Lady Loki, or the current Kid Loki, or like any of the other incarnations in the past, and how you might like characterize your own movie-verse Loki, like taking some elements from those comic versions of him, or...
That's a really good question. I've stolen and borrowed from them all, I think. Initially when I was getting ready to do Thor, and I just built myself up with everything I could find. You know, all the early Stan Lee, Jack Kirby stuff, where he's standing on... There's an amazing bit in a very early run, which I hope Kevin will one day think worthy to put in a movie, which is where Loki turns a whole street of cars in New York into ice cream. I kind of love that about him. And then there's some stuff in the J. Michael Straczynski comic, I love Robert Brody, and they're fantastic. It's funny that the Straczynski run actually has Lady Loki, I think, in there too, and I'm afraid I just don't have the cleavage to pull that off. But somebody one day will. But yeah, Loki's an amazing character, and he's the shapeshifter of the Marvel Universe, and it's a privilege to play him.
I love the beard. We're looking forward to Henry.
Thank you. It's a beard love, okay?
I could just listen to your two accents go back and forth all day long. That is so wonderful.
Should we get a pot of tea brewed as well?
Yeah! Let's talk about Will and Kate.
God save the Queen, indeed.
We're gonna God save the Queen. Be calm, carry on. All right. What's your question, ma'am?
My question is for Tom. I was wondering, you fought like a lot of the Avengers, obviously, and I was wondering which was your favorite Avenger to fight against.
Maria Hill!
rear heel drives a hard bargain. It's what's fun is I get each superhero has this particular superpower, so Loki has to adapt to each hero. The way that he fights maybe Captain America, am I right? Might be a little more rough and tumble. I'd be interested to see what you think of the way Loki gets ruffleized. And inevitably there's a lot more brotherly brawling with the God of Thunder. And Tony Stark has his day too. I really couldn't pick a favorite. It was really, really fun.
Thank you.
I don't think any of us will recover from that evening. Yeah, that was a fun night, actually.
Man, that was a fun night.
I remember.
We don't remember.
I remember. I'm afraid I'm going to tell the story, Chris.
No. Nothing happened that night that you could say legally in public.
No. There was some dancing involved, but I remember looking back to the only two people in the club who weren't dancing, and Messrs. Evans and Hemsworth I heard Chris saying, "But how do you get this back here?" And Chris Hemsworth saying, "I don't know, mate, like just work out and stuff." Two brothers in arms.
I don't know.
Come on, man. Okay.
I got lost in Tom's glove. What was the question again? Was it about Tom?